But my beats, they are hard.
All right. Hello. Good evening. Welcome to another live episode of the BCSN SportsWrap. I'm Bryan. That's AD. I'm Bryan. What's good, brother?
Man, what's going on, man? I am one tired puppy, man. Let me tell you something, man. You know, we did this lacrosse event at Morehouse last week. Well, yesterday to be exact.
Right.
That was like a homecoming event without the support staff. And when I mean without the support staff, the level of the support staff that you would normally have for homecoming.
Mm-hmm.
So it was. Somebody asked me, did I enjoy myself? And I told them two things. A, I would have enjoyed myself more if I actually understood what was going on the field. And number two, if I would have actually been able to stop to see what was going on the field to enjoy myself. Am I making sense, man?
Yeah, surprisingly you are, man. I applaud you for even
going into foreign territory.
Yeah, man, you went into foreign territory, and you still got your smile. You got two hands, you got 2 feet, and you still got a job. So I mean, that's a win. It's a win, right?
Yeah, yes, sir. But yeah, I understood the basics of lacrosse going in, but when they started throwing those penalty flags in the men's game, like it's football, and then they started, Bryan, have you ever heard of a green card? And I don't mean what ICE is going after people asking for.
Yeah, I've heard of a green card, Drew,
but not the kind I'm talking about.
That kind of green card, huh?
No.
Okay.
No.
Like, where are you going with this? I was just gonna sit back and wait on that one. Yeah.
Okay. First of all, when they throw in the men's game, when there's a foul, they throw a flag just like you do in football, correct?
Right.
Now in football, they just toss the flag to the ground at the spot of the foul.
Mm-hmm.
I'm getting to that, G-Boom. So in lacrosse, they throw that thing about 20, 30 feet straight up in the air to let everybody know that there's a foul. No matter if it's what we would call, using a basketball term, if it's a touch foul,
mm-hmm.
or a real flagrant type foul. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
one referee threw the flag so high up in the air on what they would call a common foul. You stop erosion.
I'm sorry. Go ahead. I thought you could go through. I was hoping not to distract you with that foolishness.
But anyway, what would have been a common type foul that I thought he was gonna have to get FAA clearance for that flag. He threw it so far in the air.
Right. He might have hit a drone. If there was like a drone over top of the stadium, if someone had got clearance, it probably would have hit a drone, right? Is that what you're saying?
That would have been a good chance. But
yeah. Who ended up winning the games? Who ended up winning those games, by the way? Do you know?
Do you want me to lie to you? Tell you how I remember?
No, you could just simply say I don't know.
I believe Michigan won the men's game. Army won the second women's game, and to top it off, Bryan, the second game went into double overtime.
Oh my God! How much
I asked him. I was like, "Do they play overtime in lacrosse?" Yes, they do. Is it like a shootout or something? Like, no, they play until they have a win. It's sudden death.
Oh, sudden death. So it's like however many minutes for overtime. What are they play in halves, right, or quarters?
No, 4 15s.
So it's just like a football game.
4 15-minute quarters.
Yikes! And then the overtime is what?
5-minute periods. 5-minute periods until they got one, and the second over. It was one in the second overtime with 3 seconds remaining.
Wow! Goal.
Yeah.
One goal.
Getting back to my green card though.
Yes, back to your green card.
But not a green card. Yeah.
What a green card is in lacrosse.
Lacrosse. Obviously, if anybody who's done anything like soccer, you've got yellow cards and red cards in soccer, correct?
Yes. Okay. That's what I've been told.
Yes. So the green card is the lower level of a foul. Basically, the green card is given when a foul occurs outside of the scoring zone. And those of you who think about hockey, think about past the blue line in hockey, or in the box in soccer.
Oh, yeah, whatever.
Okay.
I can't. I hate trying to figure out hockey.
Brian, basketball.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Basketball.
Yeah.
A green card in a basketball reference would be if the foul occurred outside of the 3-point line. Just a common foul outside the 3-point line. If it occurs inside the 3-point line, and using a basketball reference, it's a yellow card.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Right. And then the red card is just like it is in soccer and other sports that use red cards. Those will be for the more egregious, flagrant type of occurrences.
G Boom out here acting like he's not lost either. But go ahead.
Man, I was there and I was lost.
Yeah.
And those folks was like, and I kept asking the people who was doing the stats and everything else. I'm like, all right, child, I don't want to sound like the lacrosse novice, but I need y'all to help me out. What just happened? And why? I looked real African American out there.
No, you look like somebody who didn't know what the hell they were watching or what the game was. So, that's it is what it is, right?
Let me see if I can pull up a couple of photos.
We got a lot to get to today, Drew. Man, we have so many things going on, and I don't think we will make mention, but maybe for this much time in referencing football, maybe about this much football talk on a busy day like today, because we got all kinds of stuff worth talking about. Of course, we got all kinds of basketball news. We've got conference tournaments. We've got rankings. We've got games. We've got unbelievable finishes and outcomes. We got some streaks to talk about. We've got track and field indoor championships in, I believe, three of the major 4 or 5 conferences. I say 5. But we've got track and field indoors, which have been going on last week, this week. Baseball, there's some baseball going on. Who was it in the chat that said they want to talk some baseball? I don't even know what to tell you about baseball right now because of all the stuff going on. Baseball kind of got lost in the weeds this weekend, I think. There was very little social media coverage of baseball, but, we'll talk about what we can find and talk about. Softball is going on. You got outside of the HBCU sports world, which I think we're all watching maybe to some degree, Olympic hockey. I mean, the only time a lot of us care about hockey is during the Olympics, during the Winter Olympics. We did something which hadn't been done. Fascinating to me, Drew. We did something that hadn't been done since 1980 today. I did not know that. I did not know it had been 46 years, almost to the day, right? I had no idea that Olympic hockey had done what it had done. So we got to, there's a little bit of that. But all right, so back to Drew and his story time with Drew. What story we got, Drew?
This is anybody who's been to Morehouse. This is the hill at Morehouse, tailgate hill, as they like to call it. Just kind of showing a little bit of the crowd.
Folks do tailgate.
Yeah.
What was the official attendance? The announcement, the official attendance was?
The game 1 was just shy of 5,000. Game 2 was right around 2K. I can't remember. I think it was just under 2K. And then by the time we got to the last game, may have been about 800 people left.
And just describe the weather again, because it did look like it was kind of rainy. You didn't get a sunny, bright,
it was kind of rainy.
Day.
It stormed before the game.
Wow. Okay.
So and that definitely affected attendance.
All right.
So the skies finally cleared up about 11:15-ish or so. And I think we started with about a 15-minute delay. The jump that was scheduled with the retired military people had to be canceled due to weather. But other than that, everything from a fan perspective pretty much came off without a hitch.
Right. Okay. Well, let me say hello to everybody who's found their way to us this Sunday evening. The folks watching on any of our social media platforms, you might be watching on Facebook, Black College Sports Network, or the SportsWrap Facebook page. Also watching on Twitter, or X, as the kids call it. Instagram Live, we say hello to folks there. And of course, on YouTube, our good friends on MyJBN Online, where you can join and be a part of the Black College Sports Network's YouTube page and provide monthly support. It's much appreciated, much needed. Or you might be watching on our SportsWrap YouTube page as well. You can always make a donation to the show right there on the Cash App symbol that you see on the screen bottom right. Okay, so while we are making the commitment to kind of be out by 8, which those of you who are regulars of the show are probably just laughing at it as I said that, we are making that commitment today. We got to be out by 8, 8 Eastern, 2-hour show. So we'll do the best we can to get in and out of things.
We're not going to get out at ish o'clock.
Yes, no, not ish o'clock. We're on a countdown, so we got to make sure we hit all the breaks and do all that other stuff. But, last week, Drew, we brought up some interesting basketball facts, and we were talking about streaks, and we eventually were talking about one of the worst streaks happening to date in college basketball. And it involved Mississippi Valley State, who's no stranger to bad streaks, winless conference seasons. I mean, it seems to happen more than probably it should, more than the norm. So, we had noted that Mississippi Valley State was in the midst of some 23, 24 game losing streak, had not beaten a Division I opponent. In fact, their only win this season came against a Division III school in Mississippi, apparently, after doing some research. And then come to find out that their level of ineptitude in this season was mirroring the level of sad performance from just 2 seasons ago when they were winless going into a final stretch of the season, which included senior night, and their only win of the season, including a conference season where they went 1-17, came on senior night to Prairie View A&M. And yes, the old adage rings true that on any given Saturday, Drew, somebody can fall. I mean, look, we're Rattlers. We have seen it happen 2 years in a row where on any given Saturday, Valley can sneak up and win. You know what? That
The
should
fact
be
that
Valley's.
we are talking about Valley beating somebody they shouldn't beat should not surprise you or I.
Hey, that should be the new rallying shirt. I'm copy. Hey, hold on. I'm copywriting. I'm making a new T-shirt. That's a new T-shirt. Any given Saturday, and just have the Valley logo in it somewhere, or some devil, green and red devil. On any given Saturday, the devil can get you. How about that? On any given Saturday, the devil
The
can
devil's
get you.
at work.
The
on
devil,
any Saturday.
on any given Saturday, the devil's at work. There you go. Okay, so let me set this up. Because now we're getting ridiculous. Okay. Valley on senior night, hosting Texas Southern. I mean, of all the programs, right? Hold on, Drew. I looked at the last few games on Valley's schedule, right? Last week. And I told you, when I named the 5 or 6 teams, the one team you had to watch out for that we all kind of thought is like, man, watch out Prairie View. Because that's the team who was kind of playing poorly of all the teams I mentioned. But I looked past the fact, Drew, and I shouldn't have. This is 2 weeks in a row. Last week, Charles Edmond makes a great prediction, saying that Alcorn was going to knock off Bethune-Cookman, who was on a 10-game winning streak. This Saturday, and well, you know what's sad, Drew, is I produced both these shows. So I told you how bad of a producer I am. The fact that I wasn't even paying attention here. Well, no, I didn't do this week's show. But Carlos Brown predicted this week that Valley was going to beat Texas Southern. Now, if you watched the Carlos Brown show on Saturday here, you might have scoffed and you might have laughed. But by golly gee, on any given Saturday, the devil's at work.
Going to get it in. Valley going to steal it, catch it, scores it, and that's the basketball game. They will steal that.
The ball on the floor. Officials are asking that you do not come on the floor.
Asking. Wow.
Drew, they had no idea what just happened. Let's watch it one more time, because they had no clue that the inbound had been stolen. First off, you go into the corner on a trap. Michael James steals it.
And that's the basketball game.
The devil is alive, Bryan. The devil is alive.
The devil is alive. I think the announcers were even shocked. Did he just steal the ball? Did the clock just go up? Wait a minute, we just won the ball game. God bless it, we just won a ball game. The poor kid under the basket was like, damn, I just had the ball taken from me. And Drew, as basketball coaches, we have lived that nightmare. Every basketball coach if you haven't coached long enough, if you have not lived that nightmare, it happened to me this year. You reference a point where, you're up, you're just thinking, can your kids get the ball inbound? Can you execute? And by golly gee, nope. Valley gets the 72-71 win over Texas Southern. Yes, that Texas Southern at home. After losing to Prairie View by 10 points just a couple of days earlier. And previous to that, Drew, because I thought it might come at Alabama State. They got beat by 30 to Alabama State on Monday. Mississippi Valley State, I'm looking at the standings. 1-13, 2-26, snapped a 25-game losing streak. Golly gee. Drew, how do you even, can you explain can you explain for the listener at home what the hell just happened? To quote the great Vince Lombardi.
I can't, Ryan. I mean, I could just think about some ways that I've lost basketball games as a coach. Hell, even as a player, some of the dumb stuff that I've been on the court to lose, man. But and who was that just put that up? Said they feel bad for the kid.
Oh, Israel Carey.
Okay, I saw it pop up. I didn't see what the name was. But yeah, you gotta feel bad for the kid. I mean, he just got out weight room for the ball, Brian.
He did. Just got out weight room.
He got out weight room for the ball.
James just took the ball from him.
And you know something? In those situations, and those are some of the most difficult situations, when the team that's down is in an obvious fouling situation, because that's what that was, Brian. That was a foul situation with Valley trailing by 1 point. They had to foul. And sometimes that lack of concentration, knowing that you're going to get fouled, am I the one who want to go into this line and knock this free throw down? Or am I trying to get this over here to this better free throw shooter? All kinds of things are going through the head. But the one thing, Brian, and you're probably guilty of it as a coach, and I'm guilty of it as a coach also, that we never say coming out that huddle, or rarely say coming out that huddle, is secure the ball. How many times in those situations do you see, a steal or a held ball with the other team having the arrow? In those situations, and the referee playing, letting them play, and there's no contact, so they can't put a whistle on it, because a lot of times in obvious fouling situations, the referee will give you the phantom foul just because they don't want no garbage to happen, right, Brian?
Right.
But if a referee is letting it play a little bit, and then first contact, beep, hit the whistle, but he just ripped that thing out. And the fact that he happened to be under the basket, Brian.
Oh, it's even worse. Even worse. That goes down as I saw the beginning of a SWAC season this year involving Florida A&M and Bethune, where on an inbound play with no timeouts, the one direction that you don't throw the ball is towards the other team's basket.
Backwards.
So it can be stolen. And that's exactly what happened. And they end up going down and scoring a bucket and end up winning the ball game.
Brian, I won a basketball game like that.
You won. Well, congratulations for being on the other side.
There was like 1 point whatever seconds left. And, I think we were trying to hold them to a 5 count. So to force a turnover. So that, obviously playing good defense, and they threw the ball into the backcourt. Our guy actually intercepted the long pass to the backcourt and caught it in stride, 1-2, and we win the game.
You know what I rarely see, Drew? I rarely see a kid in those situations just hurl the ball in the air because the clock was running, right? He could have literally.
No. It was college ball. Ball was dead on the inbounds. Then they threw it into the corner where he got trapped.
But he could have thrown it. What I'm saying is, you rarely see the kid throw the ball in the air because the clock doesn't stop as the ball's in the air, right?
It doesn't stop till it lands out of bounds.
Right. So
or let the ball roll to the other end.
No, but he couldn't let it roll, Drew. Because
I'm just saying those are some other things.
Well, right, but if he would have tossed the ball in the air or tossed it to the other end, right? Yeah. But it's like the one place you don't want to throw it is near your own basket, and that's what happened.
Yeah, Brian, Morehouse, Lemoyne, the game that broke the streak, the 10-game winning streak, similar type play, just more seconds on the clock, under 10 seconds.
Yeah. How much time was on that? Let me go back and watch it one more time. How much time was on the clock?
I think I saw 7.5 when the ball came in.
Let's take a look. One last time.
7.0.
7.5.
See, right there, and I'm not gonna get critical, but he shouldn't have put the ball on the ground. He should have just held on to the ball and just took the foul. But we panicked.
Yeah, even a jump ball situation. Now, is it a new rule this year in the NCAA where the clock doesn't stop when the ball goes to the basket?
Yes, it does stop. They went back and put time on the clock on that play.
Okay, so they did go back and put
Yes.
time. Okay.
I think even the clock
wondering.
keeper was stunned at what happened right there.
All right.
Especially at home.
Oh man. Well, we thought we'd seen all kinds of basketball plays, right? Well, sadly, Drew, for your Morehouse Maroon Tigers, I don't even know where to put what happened to y'all on. Was it Friday? Was it Friday night? Friday night or Thursday night?
Thursday night.
Thursday night on the road at Kentucky State. You think you've seen it all, folks? Well, hold your horses, hold your drink for a second, because in a game in which Morehouse was up by how many points, Drew?
It was 30 something at that point. We won by 34.
Right. So in a 30-point game,
32-point game. I think it was 30. I think this score makes it 30 to 32.
So in a 30-point game, a reserve off the bench has an opportunity to score a basket because the young man, and I hope you don't mind, Drew, I want to give his name, young man by the name of Eric Jones, just a sophomore at Morehouse from New Haven, Connecticut, has only played, prior to the 2 minutes he got in against Kentucky State, had only played 1 minute in 2 other games. So under his belt, he had 2 minutes total time. He had his one shining moment stolen from him. I'm just going to stop right there. Let's go to the video. His one shining moment is stolen away by none other than Tyrone Biggums, who scampered off out of the building to possibly go smoke some crack. I don't know. I don't want to say all that, but and everybody looks stunned, from the guys in the corner to the official to the opposing to the home team. Tyrone Biggums. It was not Dave Chappelle, by the way. That was the real Tyrone Biggums with the red hat and all. And everybody just kind of stood there like, I mean, what did you expect us to do? Oh man, that poor Mr. Jones. He was 2 for 3 on the day, so he did score 4 points in the ball game, and that basket did count, by the way. Wow. I just can't. What the hell is going on?
And the jokes are going on in the chat.
Yeah. Man. What was somebody said what was the call on the fan interference? I think everybody just kind of looked at each other and kind of said, play on. Let's get this game over with.
Yeah, I like say, and the thing is, Bryan, let's take the laughing with you or laughing at the event out of it for a minute. Let's just talk about
let's be serious. Let's
talk about the serious point.
Let's be serious right now.
You've got a kid who was gathering for a potential dunk attempt.
Yes.
And he knows the other 9 players are behind him.
All behind him.
And and for him to have the wherewithal to, thank God this is a guard and not a post player, because guards have vision. That, because they, used to looking for the open man, and to catch this guy coming out the corner of his eye and not complete going all the way up on the rim. And then to actually, if you look at that again, Brian, he actually switched hands in the air on that and wound up scoring the ball with his left hand because he's going up with his right, and then he sees the guy and switches it quickly to his left. And for there to be no contact.
No contact, right? Yeah.
Where
thankfully, no
neither
contact.
one of the young men got hurt.
Yeah.
That could have been an ACL, that could have been a shoulder, that could have been if there's contact and he lands on his head, we're talking about a possible concussion. There was a lot of things that could have gone wrong on that play. And I said this, Brian, only at a freaking HBCU can something happen like that and you not spend a night in jail.
Well, you had to catch him, Drew. That guy probably showed some 4.4 speed getting out the door. You think they caught him?
Yeah, he got caught.
Did he really?
I mean, they did. I don't think he got out of the arena. I've been to that arena. It's not like the doors right there. Yeah, I've been to that arena. I was not first of all, I was not at that game. Okay. But I've been to that arena. And it's not like the door where he ran out. That's not the exit.
Okay, okay, I'm glad you said that because I wouldn't have known. It just looked like the exit. So
yeah, that's just to the corridors and everything.
Corridor or lobby or something.
No, that's to like basically the corridor, the hallways and everything like that.
That's not the exit. He runs out off the floor towards a hallway and then realizes I'm stuck. I mean, how bad is that?
Bryan, that's a KSU student. He knew where the heck he was going.
Again, all jokes aside, like Drew said, we are happy that young Mr. Jones was not hurt. Nobody was injured. Because yes, when you first see that, you kind of go, "Oh, okay, he avoided him." Ooh, wow.
And you know what would have been even more comical, Brian? And I'm gonna put this out there. I gotta bring it down now. I got out what I had to say. What happens if he makes a poster out there, kid?
Whoa! You know what? That would have been magical. That would have been magical. That would have been magical right there.
But man. No. And I don't see my guy Steve in the chats right now. But Steve, let's hope that one line that you put at the end of your article on courtesy of HBCU Game Day, comes true. Just remember that last line, Steve. That's all I'm gonna say. Go read his article on HBCUGameDay.com. For those who have not read it.
Speaking of Steve, I gotta talk about Steve and their so obvious, blatant pitch for a particular head coach or a new head coach at Winston-Salem State. I ain't mad at him for using the platform because nobody else is talking this idea, and why not? I mean, why not? I don't blame him for throwing the name out there. Hey, should Chris Paul consider being the next coach of Winston-Salem State? I'm like, hey, look, y'all are Winston-Salem State grads. Him, Tolly. Why not keep it going? I mean,
and Chris Paul is a Winston-Salem State grad.
Exactly. So throw it out there and see, look, they're NBA stars coaching at HBCUs. I mean, our university, there's 3 in the SWAC. So why not?
Brian, let me ask you a question. Why don't we talk about the celebrity hire when it comes to basketball coaches, but we all on top of it come football coaching time?
What do you mean?
The celebrity hire, the NFL guy, we all talking about, you know, what about the guys who come up through the ranks, not coming up through the ranks because we're going out and hire these celebrities with no coaching experience. If this was football, that's our conversation. Basketball, yeah,
yeah,
go find your NBA guy. Go
yeah.
find your
Well,
NBA guy.
I mean, it's worth it. Look, who knows? I mean, I've heard some interesting things regarding Paul, and just from his from a leadership, more of a legacy leadership perspective. And after listening to it, I come away thinking, damn, he did get kind of done wrong by by the Clippers, and then now his contract is kind of floating about, going to be used as just salary cap relief. And it was kind of unceremonious how he was discarded, and it's just kind of, but anyway, why not? Why not give it a try? There's a guy who I think, you know what, again, I chuckle every time I see it, but I applaud Steve and Tolly for using the platform of HBCU Game Day to put it out there in the etherverse to say, if we're not asking Chris Paul to come coach, and, if Stephen A. Smith is not asking Chris Paul to come coach, rebuild our program, get our program back on the right footing, then y'all are doing something wrong with your platform. So I applaud them for using it, and let's just see. Let's see what happens. Nothing. Who knows? It could be Paul's stepping stone into coaching life. You know what I'm saying? He may give it a try for a year or two and realize that he's got the coaching bug and he wants to stay, and maybe he'll carry it forward into college or pro or something like that, right? Who knows? It can't be a bad thing. Can't be a bad thing at all. Okay. I mentioned that we've got a lot of stuff to talk about. One of those things that I did want to mention is in the world of, and this is a pivot real quick, Drew, just got a text talking to Mo Carter, who just did a great job of coverage of the SWAC Indoor Track and Field Championships on SWAC TV. Mo said he can give us about maybe 10 or 15 minutes of time. So I want to make some room. I want to lay out some room for Mo to come in, but I do want to make mention very quick, and you should know this from the SIAC level, but the SIAC and the CIAA just finished off their indoor championships.
And somebody won one?
Yeah, Drew, that's why I said I want to give you an opportunity to poke your chest out and brag about the SIAC, and then I got to and that'll give me time to mention what happened in the CIAA, something that hadn't happened for like nearly 50 years. So the winners of the indoor track and fields on the SIAC, Drew, were
Tuskegee won the women and Morehouse won the men. For both institutions, second year that the SIAC has had indoor championships, and both of them are repeat indoor champions.
Okay. Then over on, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say, I can't remember if Tuskegee won the, I believe Tuskegee may have won the cross country. So I think both institutions are set up for the running trifecta, winning the cross country championship, winning the indoor championship, and winning the outdoor championship. So I believe both of them are 2/3 of the way to that feat. Second year in a row, Morehouse has been in that position where they can possibly win the trifecta. Benedict clipped us last year in the outdoor.
All right. So that brings your ring count to what? 2?
My ring count? That is a good question, Brian. 1, 2, since I've been there, 3. All of them running sport related.
Have any of them come in yet? Have the rings come in yet?
Had the rings been ordered is probably a better question to be asked, Brian.
Okay, see, I'm sorry. I didn't want to go there, but I just had to ask. I figured because you would have shown us, and I just had to ask, you would have shown us had they had they
But
been for it.
you know something, Brian, believe it or not.
Is that something that happens? Do they get rings? I mean, I don't
Yeah.
want to. We make an assumption, but I don't. Maybe I shouldn't make assumptions like that. May not be common for every school.
You know, Brian, I'm gonna be honest with you. When it comes to B and championship rings, when I won my basketball championship rings at Tuskegee, I wore them. I would wear them, you know, depending on the occasion. I didn't wear them every day, but you know, special events. But I only wore them up until the next season began. Because when the next season began, I was no longer the champion. I was no longer the defending champion. Then I would put them in, you know, I had my little safe at that point in time, which was cool until somebody decided to break in my house and take the whole safe. And I haven't worn a ring since. Not a championship ring.
Wait a minute. Did you say they?
Yes, they took
not
the whole
just
safe.
broke into the safe. They took the whole
They
safe.
took the whole safe. You know the small safes that you keep in your house.
Yeah. I mean, did they?
It's not like I would have Fort Knox or anything.
Did you have? Did you have a tracker? Look, I don't know anything about a safe.
No.
Is there a track? There's no tracker.
No.
So it was lost and gone. Did it ever come back?
Never saw those keys. So there's somebody around here with a few rings that have my name in them. Damn. Not only on the side, but also engraved on the inside.
One day they'll show up. Maybe on YouTube.
They haven't shown up in the last
eBay.
10 years, so I'm not looking for them.
Oh my God! I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
Well, over on the CIAA side, they had their championships earlier in the week. Fayetteville State University women won their 6th consecutive title in the CIAA indoors. And then on the men's side, for the first time in the history, the 49-year history of the CIAA Indoor Track and Field Championships, Virginia Union won the title for the first time. Can you imagine how special is that in a university that's been around as long as Virginia Union, and CIAA has been around for 100-something years. You've been running indoor track for 49 years. That this is the first time that your program has won an indoor track championship. That's amazing. That's amazing. So congratulations to Tuskegee and Morehouse in the SIC, Fayetteville State, and Virginia State in the CIAA. And then earlier today in the Southwestern Athletic Conference, you had the Florida A&M University Rattlers for the second time in 3 years win the women's indoor track championship. And on the men's side, I should know this because I was looking at it. I tweeted this out earlier. Was it Texas Southern? Sad I don't know this. How do I not know this, Drew? It was Texas Southern. Yeah, Texas Southern won the men's indoor track. They beat Jackson State by about 11 points. Florida A&M finished in third, about 15 points behind Jackson State. So congratulations to Texas Southern. Congratulations to FAMU. Thank you, Dave. And then over on the CAA side, the A&T men won the CAA championship for the second straight season. Yeah, good stuff. All right.
It's glad to see A&T have at least one sport where they had BX success that they've been able to translate over to the CAA. I'm sorry, Dave. I had to get that one in.
And on the women's side, Hampton placed second, A&T third. And I think last year was the year Hampton last indoor. It was either outdoor or indoor where Hampton finished first. The women did something like that. So
I think it was outdoor, if I remember correctly.
Yeah. Congratulations. Hey, we do something right. But I mentioned we had I reached out, or he reached out to me. Mo Carter who did the broadcast for SWAC TV. He's going to take a few minutes. Let me see if we can get Mo in here to talk with us for a short moment or two. Joining us right now, live somewhere between here and there, is Mo Carter, Fox 54 in Huntsville, and also the voice on SWAC TV's coverage of the SWAC Indoor Track and Field Championships. Mo, how you doing this evening?
Hey, doing well, Bryan. Doing well, AD, man. Good to chat with you guys. I feel like it's been a minute. And I'll also tell you this, had a whole lot of fun here in Birmingham, man.
You know what? It looked like that was another great event. This was was this your 5th year calling the SWAC Indoor Championships?
It's my fourth.
Okay.
Yeah, it's my 4th one with indoor, and then 4 with indoor, and then I'll it'll be 3rd for my outdoor come May.
Gotcha. And I know Stan Becton is out there who does a lot of the interviews on the field, in the stands. Who was the coach that's in the booth with you?
It's Coach CJ Williams. He's he's coached on various levels from high school all the way up to college. He's also trained a lot of athletes from the state of Alabama, but went on to compete on the USA Olympic side of things. So great connection I always have. I mean, very, very smart guy. He breaks those things down and gives those X and O's to track and field.
Yes. That's what I wanted to say. That's why I wanted you to mention his name, because he does a great job of breaking things down. And I always enjoy. There is right now the best theater is Sunday around 3:00 on the last day of either the indoor or outdoor. The theater is the drama is so good. It's so good for TV.
Without a doubt, man. Without a doubt. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you start to look and see what those scorecards are looking like. If you're a team that's in the running, you know for sure that you got those extra opportunities. If you're a team that may be down lower in the rankings or whatever, you have a possibility of knocking out some opportunities for teams not to actually finish. And of course, once again, on the women's side, we had a situation where it comes down to the last race, the 4x4, which is by far not only the most exciting race, but also the most
All right. We
just lost them for
yeah,
a moment.
we had you there for a second, and then all of a sudden you must have went into a tunnel or something, because we lost you there. But we still got you there with us, Mo.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we got you now. You there?
You were talking about the 4x4.
Yeah, you were just mentioning the 4x4, and then it got garbled a little bit.
Yeah, so, with the 4x4, it came down on the women's side to that last race. You had Alabama State and you had Florida A&M who were 1 and 2 in a situation where Alabama State needed to win. And if they did not win, they would get second at best, but Florida A&M had to finish ahead of them. And, it's funny how Alabama A&M was one that came out and got the victory in the 4x4, but Florida A&M got the second place, while Alabama State fell to 6th. And Florida A&M getting that second place secured them for a championship on the women's side today.
Yeah. So the one thing that you guys called this, or somebody made this great prediction that Alabama A&M was the dark horse to watch. And what the lead that you guys buried, well, not until it happened, was that Alabama A&M pulled out a former basketball player who probably had to be about at least 6'2", running up against Ariana Ladson, who's about 5'3", and the strides on the young lady from Alabama A&M were just ridiculous. Poor Ariana was fast. I mean, she was an outstanding performer last in the spring, right? And I'm just watching Ariana I'm like, baby girl, you're not gonna catch her. Those strides are a little bit too much. What in the world? Where did that young lady come from? And tell the story. I mean, you guys covered that real well.
Yeah, so Alicia Wilson, former All-SWAC standout on the basketball team for Alabama A&M, Apparently, she had an additional year of eligibility left. Just she couldn't play basketball. So apparently, she was a standout track and field standout in high school and would train with the track and field team during the off season. So an opportunity for her to actually hey, finish up my master's degree and still compete as a student athlete came along. So she moved over to the track and field squad, had been participating, in various races. And then, they went ahead and put her in the 4x4. The other story is the fact that you had Miss Gaynor from Alabama A&M, the back-to-back indoor champion in the 400, set her up. And then basically once you set her up and then you got it to Alicia Wilson, those strides really, really made the difference for Alicia Wilson, especially coming down that stretch for Alabama A&M.
All right. Go ahead. I got a question for you, Mo.
Mm-hmm.
As you're sitting up there, you're covering the events at the track meet, and most of the time in your position, they're covering the races, primarily the sprints. But as you're starting to see results come in, especially from the field events, and a lot of times from where you're broadcasting at, you can't really see what's going on in the field events. How does that play throughout the championship day as you starting to see these different results come in and you seeing people moving? Somebody who's not doing well in some of the running races, but you're seeing that being strong in the field events and everything. Or we forgot about the 5,000 that they ran earlier, or the help, or the deck. Well, no deck on the indoor, but you understand what I'm getting at, those hidden points that a lot of people don't see. Because everybody, like you say, 4x4, the 100, the hurdles, those are things that draw the eyes. But it's those other events that actually win the championships.
Yeah, so what I've learned over these last couple of years is that the SWAC staff, led by Dr. McClellan and Andrew Roberts, has talked things over with James Crenshaw and Woodlawn Entertainment to see, what's the best way we can get our best bang for our buck and maximize the eyeballs for people who may want to see not just the sprints. So through the years, what we've done is that we've put multiple cameras in different spots. And James has the ability now to do double box, triple box. So we have situations where if you actually go back and watch on Swag TV in the early standpoints, we were having sprints going on, but we also had in another box triple jump going on. We had we had pole vault going on. So we'd also, make reference to those individuals. And then what made it even better was sometimes the races would finish faster. So it gave us more time to talk about the field events that were going on that people were seeing on their television screen. Coach TJ and I were then able to kind of break down hey, here's why this was a good jump. Here's why this was a good vault. Here's why this was a good, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So, we have found ways to actually kind of share it with it. And then another thing too is that, let's say it's an event that just happened before we came on air. We have the ability now to go in and at least bring the results up. And when we bring the results up, we can at least still show the love. And then if those individuals are going to the podium, to get their medals, we have a camera that is directly on the podium every single time, and we can still talk about those individuals in one box while another race is going on as well. So at the end of the day, we're maximizing opportunities by helping every viewer enjoy a different facet of the event.
Yeah, great point. I would like for you to tell the people about the preparation that goes into getting ready for this event, where you have 17 events among 2 different genders. So that's a total of 34 events with hundreds of athletes. I mean, I can't imagine when you start the preparation on this, Mo. So let people know when does the preparation start? Where do you get the help from? Because you guys do a great job of telling the stories of some of the athletes. And again, we don't talk about track and field really in depth until these outdoor and indoor meets. So unless you're at your individual schools following along, a lot of us casuals remember names from year to year. Mm-hmm. So let people know about a little bit the background on behind the curtain on how that preparation happens and when it happens.
All right. So for me, what I done the last couple of years, I've especially been doing on the indoor circuit, is as that I will go on, various track and field sites that have results from different schools participating in various indoor meets. I mean, one thing about it, there's not a lot of indoor meets compared to how you have like 1,000 outdoor meets. So it's pretty easy to kind of see who's playing for each school. And then I'll go the week of, so what was that? Probably Monday, stats for various people that would be participating, what were their qualifying times, and from there I'll look at that, I'll print out that stuff from the stat sheets, then I'll go back and look at last year's results, see how did this person or that person do, and those are my notes, every single year. So because of that, when we hop into a race here or there, I can be like, hey, in lane 1 is this person, and lane 2 is this person. Last year, this person came out third. They're trying to improve. They had a time of this. They've already shaved off their time of that. So that's really where majority of the preparation goes. And then from there, you just start realizing, different names that continue just to be dominant. That's why when I was texting you earlier about Kurt Dawkins for Florida A&M, yes, I remember last year in indoor, this was a guy who would just sit in the back of the crowd for these long distance races, and then you get to the last lap, and this dude just goes off looking like Sonic the Hedgehog and running away from everyone. And then what's funny is that lots of times you feel like he still had more in the tank. You talk about people giving whatever they got left in the tank. Man, you look at this guy, he's running away from the competition while everybody else is still tired, and it looks like he could probably run another 200, 300 more meters, and he has literally made that his staple on the indoor and the outdoor circuit as well. So you remember good stories like that. You remember like last year, Jamarian Stubbs of Alabama State, being not only the top guy in the SWAC, but a top 10 runner in the entire nation, and even, got to the Olympic trials as well. So, you remember good things like that. You remember the names, you remember the dominance that certain teams have. Of course, Alabama State, Coach Richie Bean, he's always going to have competitive teams, especially on the women's side. But I now see that Coach G at Florida A&M is becoming a nemesis to him. So, we have to talk about those storylines, the connections that the coaches have. So it's a lot of good things. The best thing about it is that you always want to just make sure that we're always talking about something and not giving you any dead air.
The one good thing about track is no matter what it was, that the time is the time and the jump is the jump. A lot of the subjectivity that we have in football and basketball on is he a good quarterback or is he a good point guard or is he a good post player and everything like that. The numbers are the numbers. It's real easy when it comes to track and swimming.
Yep. Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. The other thing, too, you talk about numbers. Track is full of is a numbers game. Reason being, go back and look at some of the results when you guys get a chance. Look at the results on the women's side. Not just the results, but look at the actual section sheet. Look how many people Alabama State and Florida A&M would have competing in those running events, and then turn around and see how many people finish in the top 6. That's how you build your points.
Yeah.
That's how you build your points.
I got one last question for you, Mo, before I turn it over to Bryan. Of those, because I haven't had a chance to look at the results, how many people, as a result of this meet, men and women, did you see that have made the qualifying mark for the next round? And I'm not sure if Division I has regionals or they go straight to nationals, but how many people have met those qualifying marks that you were able to see? Were you able to get that information?
I think Coach TJ said there was at least 4 that made qualifying marks coming into the races just in general today. Of course, we saw a number of SWAC records fall as well. So, I literally will have to just go back and just double check it just in general. There are no regions for individuals. So basically you have to be in a certain percentage top wide to go to nationals. Now, of course, outdoor, you do go to regionals and, the champion. So that'll be a good thing. But I think he said it was at least 4 student athletes on the track, both men and women. So, that's always a solid thing. And of course, who knows? Somebody may not have had their best at other, in other conferences, and then that may open up a light for some individuals who we saw in action today.
Because I believe you can qualify for nationals outside of the SWAC tournament, correct?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yes. As long as you've met that qualifying benchmark, whatever it is, and it moves ever so slightly based upon different races, because as the results will get compiled throughout the indoor season, or even with the outdoor season, you've got that number. Then as they start trying to fill out the heat sheets and fill out the races, they may take a few more people. So you've got, you have to understand how they do those qualifiers for a track, though. But that number is not a hard number, a hard line number, basically, when you see that qualifying mark.
Yeah, and another thing too, AD, I'll add to kind of just back up what you were saying, Bryan. To answer your question, a big thing will be, hey, as I mentioned, a lot of these schools participate in other meets against like bigger name programs and whatnot. Sometimes they have their PRs against those big time programs, and then boom, that sets them already up to where the rest of their season, all they're doing is working to get better so they can already get to nationals because they've qualified for nationals already.
Right. We've seen that on the Florida A&M side, just to kind of mention that. What I want to say before I ask you my last question, Mo, I do want to say I enjoyed you talked about you always have to find something to talk about. I enjoyed how you, during the men and women's 5,000, I think it was, somehow we found a way to get some football talk in there. I love that. I absolutely thought I got a kick out of that. I'm like, look at Mo getting some football talk in this long 5,000 meter, which is 25 laps, by the way, for those who didn't know. You did a great job of pointing that out.
Yes.
So, somewhere between
I've got a backstory.
Sometime between lap 5 and 15, Drew, Mo managed to work in some football talk. I got excited. I was like, damn, I didn't even know that. So props to you on that, Mo.
Yeah, so check this out, Bryan. So our good friend Wayne Cartwright, that we know from with the From the Hill podcast, he's a track and field official as well. So he was down today. Wayne's always my guy I'll go to for anything I may have a question on X's and O's. So he catches up with me before the meet, and he was like, Mo, I hate to tell you this, we're going to have 2 sections of women. 5,000. And I'm like, how in the world did we get to that? He was like, yeah, see, we can only put so many student athletes on an indoor track, and because of that, it's a safety issue and things of that nature. He was like, look, I would recommend you guys start whatever off and then just find some filibuster and just do this and do that. And I said, I got you. So as we going through it, I'm texting a few folks, and I'm like, okay, we're going to kind of go off a little bit just to kind of kill this time, because Dr. McClellan had agreed to do our interview with him during the second one. So, we got to fill some time in this first one. So as we're going, I'm like, all right, it's be a good time to talk about this. So I started promoting all the championships. Basketball and bowling and softball, outdoor. And they're like, hey, it's time to talk football, everyone, because guess what? It's only 6 months away. And of course,
before you know it.
Yeah, exactly. And I just started talking about, hey, this year, FCS teams taking advantage of the week 0 situation, especially in the SWAC. So I pulled up FBSschedules.com, went to the SWAC, hit week 0, went down the line. Hey, here's what we're looking forward to this. Here's what we're looking forward to that. Go to week 1, go to week 2. All of a sudden, I looked up, we go from lap, 9 to lap 21, and because we broke it all down. And hey, let's be for real. You can't ever not talk about enough football in the South.
No, not especially in the SWAC.
Football crept into the conversation.
I told you, man. There's that you can always find. No matter what you're doing, Drew, we can always find a way to talk about football. There's always a way to sneak in some football talk, even at a track and field meet indoor during the 5,000 meter run.
Yes. So we went ahead and we just did that, and then of course then I turned around. We plugged basketball as well. You know, I was able to kind of plug Coach Dawn Thornton and the Lady Bulldogs, being one win away from securing that number one seed and the women's tournament, and how the men's thing is more of a Bethune-Cookman, and then everybody else from 2 to like 9 that are separated by like 2 games. And, you know, after that, it was all continuation of just promoting the great student athletes and the swag. And then all of a sudden, boom, we were like 2 laps left. The young lady wins the first. I'm like, okay, perfect. And then we get to the next one. They started up, and then Stan's like, hey, man, I'm here with Dr. McClellan. I'm like, go, let's do it.
Yeah. And then Stan and Doc did a great job of talking about basketball. Doc did a great job of, you know, Stan's got to get the memo, you know, because they were promoting the men's tournament, and Stan left out the women's. And so Doc said, well, you didn't ask me this, but I'm going to talk about the women too. And I'm like, oh, well, Jesus.
Dr. McClellan's good at that.
He is. Yeah, he's great at that. He's like, well, Stan, you missed the memo that we need to talk about women's basketball here. So let me go ahead and help you out there. That was genius, man.
So he did a good job with that. And then another thing too was I informed Stan, hey, ask Dr. McClellan about SWAC TV and what the numbers look like. So, of course, Dr. McClellan dropping the nuggets. We're now
of course,
we're up now. You know, we're past 40 million. We are past 40 million. So that's another solid thing. And with that being said, it just shows you that actually 43 million to be exact. So 43 million minutes viewed on SWAC TV, and it continues, which is actually great because when I interviewed Dr. McClellan first week of January at Alabama A&M, we were at 28 million. So 15 million minutes have been watched in about a month and 3 weeks.
Wow. The one nugget that I found interesting during his interview is he mentioned that the some 2,000 events across, you know, the SWAC inventory of games. And he mentioned that they were ahead of pace, and that he mentioned his goal for next year was for 80% of that number to be on SWAC TV. I thought that was interesting. And he felt like, given where they've been able to move this year, that they might actually hit that mark next year.
Yeah, and I think it could happen too. I really think it could happen primarily because now you're at a point where you realize, okay, cool. We know ESPN has got to do what they need to do, and HBCU needs to do what they need to do. Once they make their selections, the conference office is ready to go ahead and just fill everything else they need to fill in with events on SWAC TV. And I think they're also putting the pressure on ESPN and HBCU Go to say, hey, get your stuff out of the way so we can plan the rest of our stuff and then keep it moving.
Yeah, it really does. And, you know, as more schools, as it was stated, get their, you know, the conference, it sounds like the conference is going to be doing things to help those schools who haven't been able to get all of their inventory up on SWAC TV. It sounds like that the conference is willing to do some things to help those schools, which I was happy to hear. And I look forward to a more robust schedule, a more robust inventory, bigger opportunities. You know, I hope I don't have to see more commercials of the Bulldog attorney. Because I'm telling you, man, I know who to call if I get injured in Huntsville. I know who to call now, Mo. I swear to you, I know that number like the back of my hand. So props to him because boy, he caught a hold of one, man. That's you know, if you know, you know.
I see that commercial more than what I see Alexander Shinara commercials.
Exactly.
AD knows what I'm talking about.
Oh, man.
For anyone that does not know, in the state of Alabama, Alexander Shinora is like the big-time lawyer calling for anything, and because he's got offices like all across the state, and he spends like a whole lot of money on his advertisements. So, you know, he has a phrase, call me Alabama, no matter where you're at. But, yeah, I'm starting to see that Bulldog attorney one way more than the Alexander Shinora ones now.
Mm-hmm. Mo, let me get you out of here with this. Biggest 3 stories from the SWAC indoor track and field. I know I'm putting you on the spot, but what were your biggest 3 stories?
Biggest 3 stories. Number one, the continued dominance from Texas Southern's men and Florida A&M's women, because it is carried over from indoor to outdoor, back to indoor once again. I know FAMU was the runner-up last year, but in indoor, but they literally came down to that last race like it was last year, and they made it known this year, hey, we're here to stay. And I think it all started in outdoor. Of course, Texas Southern, I mean, they're doing it in so many facets. And if you add cross country to it, technically they're kind of doing a trifecta year in and year out with indoor, outdoor, and cross country. So that would probably be my top storyline. Next storyline, it's got to be Kurt Dawkins. Kurt with the kick. Man, that guy is so fun to watch. I really hate that he's a senior and we won't see him next year. But I mean, it's like you're looking down the stat sheet and you're like, Kurt Dawkins, there he is. Mm-hmm. And you're looking at him during the race. It's like 3 laps to go. He's still in the back. 2 laps to go. He's starting to make a move. 1 lap to go. Dude is all out sprint. And whoever's in the lead, you about to lose your lead because of him. So that he would be my number 2 storyline. And then my third storyline, if you want to call it a storyline, I'm going to talk about just really the atmosphere because, of course, track meets are really made not just from the fans, but from the teammates of the student athletes. As you probably heard late in the track meet, I kept saying, hey, you don't see a student athlete sitting down. Everybody's on their feet. And literally every student athlete from all 12 schools were on their feet, on the rails, in the stands, cheering on their teams during those 4x400 meter relay finals. And I just love the camaraderie because it's just another element that makes track and field what it is, especially here in the Southwestern Athletic Conference. Because, let's be frank. I mean, it may not be easy for Bethune-Cookman or for MU to make a trip to Birmingham. But guess what? They got their 30-plus teammates with them, and they're cheering them on, and that makes you feel a whole lot better in the space as you're on the track. Because, I mean, the Birmingham Crossplex is not a big place per se, so it gets noisy in there, but in a good way to where if you kind of recognize the noises from your fellow teammates, it helps encourage you to just do better just in that. So, that would be my 3 storylines. Texas Southern and Florida A&M, Kurt Dawkins, and then the camaraderie and celebrations you got among all 12 schools with their student athletes and how well they support each other, race in and race out, basically.
Is there much of a general admission crowd? I mean, outside of those student athletes, how would you categorize the general fans? Is there much of attendance from casual alums, fans, track fans?
It's a decent attendance. Okay. I saw a lot of Alabama State and Alabama A&M shirts in the crowd, but then I saw a few Jackson State shirts in the crowd, a few Southern shirts and hats in the crowd, a couple of sweaters and whatnot. So, I imagine that sometimes you do get the fans and alums who make their way over. I can tell you from a personal standpoint, I got an email from our national alumni president for Southern University basically saying, hey, anybody in Huntsville, if you want to go down and support the Jaguars down in Birmingham, they're going to be there on Saturday and Sunday. It's always appreciative that you do it. So I imagine that other alumni chapters have probably, done that in the space. Of course, sometimes it's just the parents who go ahead and just make the trip knowing that, hey, we know for sure last week in February, we're going to be in Birmingham. Let me go support my son or my daughter or my niece or my nephew or my grandchild, So there's a decent general audience that was in there. I wish we could kind of have the camera shot to show it, but of course we only have so many cameras that we can punch up as well. That might be something I'll talk to James Crenshaw about next year in the space.
Yeah, usually with the crowd, Bryan, majority of the crowd there is usually related to one of those student athletes out there. Indoor track, you don't see a lot of casual fans. It's more family and close friends, especially if they're in that local area and everything. Now, outdoor track, you may get a little bit more of a casual fan because the outdoor track, you can kind of create a tailgate type atmosphere because it's outdoor. You can set up your tent, bring your grill into a lot of the tracks and everything like that. But indoor, typically somebody has a vested interest in somebody running it in there.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, that's still a good number because, like I said, there's at least 20 to 30 student athletes per school coming, right?
Per school,
Yes,
per
sir.
gender.
Yeah. And so you multiply that by mamas and daddies and aunts and uncles. I mean, that's a good group of people who are showing up for these events. So it's still a good crowd. So I got
Right.
you. I got you.
And Bryan, let me add this too. You think about it like this: you still have you still have decent ticket sales for those people who come, and you're still selling concessions, and you're still selling merchandise as well. You know, so swag gear was being sold. I saw it today or whatever. Matter of fact, I wanted a swag Scully. I was like, I'm gonna come back down to get one, and then when I came back down during a little break, it was already sold out. So you
should always get it the first time you see it, Mo, because
I know.
whenever you think about it, it's never gonna be there the second time. It's never there the second time. You always got the first time you see it, you gotta go ahead and just buy it right then and there on the spot.
You mean don't wait until the events get ready to leave and you trying to get it at half price because they don't want to pack it back up and take it and put it back in the trailer?
Yeah, don't wait till that. Don't wait for that discount. Yeah.
No, I'm not gonna wait for that. But yeah, like I said, merchandise and concessions and tickets were sold as well. So there's some sort of a profit that comes through with it. And of course, with the SWAC being here in Birmingham and the Crossplex being building that's owned by the city, you know, the trade-off is always pretty good too.
Yeah. Well, I'm gonna put a plug in. If anybody knows the vendor that was selling any FAMU track and field championship shirts, hit a brother up. There's my Twitter handle at DRB365. Let me know. I'd love to be able to support because God knows I may not find it online anywhere. But if anybody knows the vendor or whoever it was that was selling those, please hit me up. Hit me up. There's Doc said he learned the hard way about that swag Scully. Yep, you got to get it when you see it because it will not be there the second time around. There you go. All right. Mo, as always, man, I appreciate you taking some time out tonight. You, Coach Williams, Stan, you guys did a great job. Mr. Crenshaw and the production team, props, great job. Always enjoyed the broadcast and always a fun Sunday with the SWAC track and field and Mo Carter. So appreciate you.
Hey, no problem, Bryan. No problem, AD. Appreciate you guys for tuning in. And as I say, you know, it's all the support from the fans and the parents and the people who love HBCU athletics that's helping SWAC TV grow into what it is today.
Well said, Mo. Well said. All right. Appreciate it, man. Have a good evening.
Hey, y'all too now.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff with Mo Carter. They do a great job of the production. Okay. Let's take a break because G-Boom asked a great question. My guy Jimmy Mack asked a great question. Let's talk about very briefly because, look, we're on a time crunch. So, man, we still have not talked about the CIAA tournament. You know, Steven's in there. Steven's already saying it's a wonderful time of the year. And so I know I did notice something very interesting regarding the CIAA format this year, Drew. I wonder if you saw that.
I did not.
Oh, yeah, it's a little bit different, or at least somebody can tell me. It looks different. It looks different than years past. We'll talk about it on the other side, but still a lot to talk about and only a little bit of time left to do it. So take a chance, go take a bathroom break real quick, go get a drink, come right back in like 2 minutes, and we'll be back for more of the BCSN SportsWrap. All right, so I'll hit the 3-minute commercial. All right, we'll be back in just a minute. You're watching the BCSN SportsWrap right here on the Black College Sports Network.
From cancer care to accidental injuries to cardiac care, we all know that there are times that you can't control what happens in your life. But with Globe Life Family Heritage, you can be prepared to weather the storm when it comes. Call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com. With over 25 years of serving communities, Dr. Beverly Eagles Rogers is here to help you and your family through difficult times. Dr. Beverly takes pride in Globe Life being one of the few companies that returns 100% of premiums to clients that stay healthy. So for more information, call Dr. Beverly Eagle Rogers at 877-300-8269 or visit the website at globelifefamilyheritage.com.
And we have to fund our kids in these colleges, and we have to make sure our kids have seats in these colleges.
Now, what about HBCUs? You mentioned
absolutely. You got to fund them all, and you got to make sure they're properly funded. You know, the real reason why I went after Comcast and Charter, it didn't have anything to do with my cable networks. It didn't. What happened was a gentleman wanted to do the Black College Sports Network in partnership with the HBCUs, and Comcast did not accept it, and that would have made a lot of money for these black colleges.
Absolutely.
And it would have educated the Black College Sports Network. This is what he wanted to do. That would have educated a lot of black kids. And when they didn't do that, that's when I came off the bench and said, okay, I'm going to light you up like a Christmas tree. Okay? That was the real reason why I got into it, was when I saw what happened with the Black College Sports Network, which I don't own. I just knew.
Why didn't you buy it?
I just knew. I just knew that these black.
I like that talk.
All right. I knew that these black colleges were going to benefit, and these black kids were going to get the education that they deserved and not have to pay.
There's a shot.
That might be. It could be.
Right field. Grand slam. What a shot. That's how you get hot, young fella.
Thank you guys for what you do for HBCU athletics. This is a fantastic avenue for all of us. This is our ESPN, so we love what you guys do, and all you guys at BCSN. We really appreciate what it is that you guys do for us.
Movement, a statement, a legacy. We celebrate the pride, the purpose, and the culture that make historically black colleges and universities legendary. HBCU Image, a Kenny T's company.
You're looking for the latest information on Southern University sports, the Southwestern Athletic Conference, and HBCU athletics. There's only one place to go. Tune in to the Carlos Brown Show, exclusively on the Black College Sports Network.
All right, welcome back to the BCSN SportsWrap. Bryan Fulford, soon to be joined by 80 Drew. So yeah, Drew must have needed more than the 3 minutes allowed during that break. Okay, I do want to hit a couple of questions up from our good friends in the chat room. Make sure you guys are following us down on the social media handles. Those are Black College Sports Network handles. You can also follow us on BCSN SportsWrap on YouTube and our Facebook pages as well, as a show of support. All donations you can be made right there on the Cash App symbol, $ my JB and my BCSN. G Boom had asked a great question during the interview with Mo Carter. The need to upgrade production is one of the things about SWAC TV. Now, let me again, I feel like I have to do this every so often to remind people. The production, and Drew would be great to talk about because the SIC does their own network, which they're, I think, about a year into. The CIAA has been doing a network for a while. But each college and university is responsible for the broadcast, right? So they're the ones who are putting the information out. They're putting the feed out. Now, you say that every the production is not the same. Well, the one thing that is not the same on everybody's feed, and this is some of you may catch this, some of you may not, what's called the scorebud. And that's down at the bottom of the screen where you see the score graphic, which will have the logos, the team name, records, fouls, timeouts left, that kind of thing. So I think one random Saturday this past month, I was talking with a good friend about the scorebud, and we counted 4 different schools that were broadcasting with different scorebuds. Now, the SWAC TV has a scorebud. Matter of fact, we showed that feed earlier in the first hour from the Mississippi Valley State game. That is one particular scorebud that the SWAC TV, they created and used. Everybody doesn't use that. I don't know why everyone doesn't use that, but it could be related to production. You have to be using a particular production software, possibly, in order to be able to use that bud. Which then gets to the bigger point of everybody not. Remember, everybody was utilizing YouTube and their private pay-per-view channels,
contracted out,
or they were contracting it out, right? All of those things were happening last year. And then all of a sudden, SWAC TV came around and it was like, hey, we want to get everybody using and sending your feed to SWAC TV. Then the SWAC realized, well, we need to try to have everybody who is capable to have a standard of broadcast. So that becomes the biggest challenge. We've heard Charles Edmond at Alcorn State talk about this, because Alcorn State is one of the schools that you don't see regularly on SWAC TV. They were on SWAC TV this past Saturday because a third-party company came in to broadcast the game. But normally, Alcorn's games are available on YouTube.
Yeah. And you bring it up a couple of good points, Bryan, when you're talking about that. And I know what SWAC TV is, because they're like maybe 6-8 months behind with SIAC, the SIAC network also is implementing.
Right.
The scorebuds. Yes, a lot of times the scorebud is a result of the software that you are using to push your broadcast with.
Mm-hmm.
And the three main softwares that are used to push most of these broadcasts.
You don't have to
vMix,
get into the
vMix,
weeds.
Production Truck, OBS.
But you're going to get into the weeds. Okay, go ahead.
No, I'm not gonna go deep into the weeds, but the integration of the scorebuds is different in all three software packages. Is what I'm going at, unless you have somebody who has the technical capability of creating a blank scorebud, and basically you do it as an overlay, kind of like if you take G Boom's comment off for a second. Just like you see at the bottom of our screen, that's an overlay in the lower third. That's called the lower third down there at the bottom. But that's an overlay. If somebody has the wherewithal and the knowledge, they can actually add in numbers, time, graphics, everything else into that. Bryan created this overlay. It has all the information. You could do the same thing what you see on ESPN and everything else, like that. And there are higher end packages out there that just do everything with your graphics. You can go buy a separate graphics package to supplement any software that's being used, and there is a certification that you can go out and get. That certification is not cheap, but if you actually obtain that certification, you can get paid.
Yes, you can.
ABC, ESPN, everybody. There is a certification out there for those who are there. But there's another piece to that, Bryan, and this is low hanging fruit for all of our schools: CIAA, SIAC, SWAC, BAC, HBCU AC. There's a device, or there are devices that takes the data from your score clock and transmits it to the various softwares. You can create the best graphics package in the world, but if you don't have a way to transmit that data or know how to transmit that data, it ain't doing you no good, Bryan.
Yep.
So that's one thing. One of the first things I did when establishing our network at Morehouse is I made sure that we purchased the license for that device at Morehouse. everyone does not know about that device or does not have it in their budget, not only to get that device, but to pay the annual subscription that you need for those type devices. And Brian, let's back up. Some clocks do not have the capability to transmit that device. That's another issue.
Yeah, wow.
Some
Just one more
I'm just saying
curveball.
some older clocks that are in some places. So there are a lot of different variables. Something else, just the placement of the network identifier. Sometimes you see it, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you see the generic, you may see the generic SWAC TV or the generic SIAC network. Sometimes you see them in school specific colors. So all those different things go into these networks. How many cameras do you have, Brian? What's the standard? What is the resolution of those cameras?
Yeah.
And Brian, we're not even gonna get into the placement of those cameras because we have been in some of these gyms, and there are certain gyms you cannot place those cameras where they tell you need to place those cameras because your gym does not have the space.
Right.
And
So
we're not even going. Last thing, we're not even going to talk about what's going to happen when we get into outdoor sports. Because of technology issues, and some schools don't even own their facility that they use outdoor. They're renting out facilities for softball, baseball, things like that. So it's a work in progress. It's going to take some investment, and this is a 3 to 5 year investment before we get up to what we want to see. We are not going to be ESPN in day one. ESPN was not ESPN in 1979 when they started. Everybody, I just
great point. Yes, thank you. A lot of people forgot about that. A lot of people forgot that. Drew, a lot of people forgot that ESPN was not ESPN back in 1979.
Not the ESPN we know.
Yeah, not the ESPN.
They weren't even doing live games in 1979. Y'all,
Exactly. So I want to, I would really, I'm not going to tell people to, I know the production thing always comes up, but let's not make it a thing. I think at the end of the day, if you're going to value, and I know I had said I'm going to put together a chart, but here's the things that I think if you're going to watch a broadcast that should matter to you, okay? One, what is my audio? Am I hearing, listening to the game being called? Can I hear, or am I catching the ambient noise from the in-house PA? Or do I even hear any noise, and what is that audio? So I think audio is important if you are going to evaluate what you're listening to and then what you're watching, right? Because sometimes if you don't have trained professionals doing this, the next thing that you're going to get are what? Students from probably your communications department who are aspiring to do these type of jobs. So are they going to be always on point and sharp with their movements? No.
Professionals aren't always on point and sharp with their movements, Brian.
No, that's true. That's true. But like sometimes there's some broadcasts, I'm not gonna call the school out, but let's just say on this past Monday, I was watching somebody's feed, and Drew, I got motion sickness on the side camera as a basketball game. And I think I was already probably tired, and I didn't know if I was catching a case of vertigo or what. I had to stop watching the game because as they panned left and right, they would pan and then it would move. It pan left, and I just at some point I felt like I was on a boat, and I don't get motion sickness, but I felt sick, and I just kept thinking, what in the hell am I watching, and why am I getting sick as I watch this?
Operating camera is not
no, it's not. It's not easy.
It's not as easy as just doing this.
No, yeah.
With your phone.
It's not.
Then multiple cameras, camera shots. Your director plays a big portion of the product that you see out there. And one thing, and this is going to tell you how successful and how that your school is. Start counting the non-institutional, non-SWAC ads, y'all.
Ooh.
That means that somebody's advertising, and they're making revenue. Just like Mo said with Alec. What's the one you said you don't want to see enough of? The
I don't
Bulldog
know.
attorney.
It's a bulldog attorney.
Right.
I know the number. I forgot his name. I know he's a
If they're an
bulldog
Alabama
attorney.
A&M supporter, exactly, that means income. When you
But
start
his commercial
seeing,
is everywhere. His commercial is on non-Alabama A&M feeds.
yeah,
So
but
I'm just gonna say that.
when you start seeing those, Brian, that means that network is doing something because they are getting other people to invest in their either directly through the conference or through the individual school. That is ad revenue, and that is what this whole thing is about. Yeah, we know we're gonna see Pepsi. Yeah, we know we're gonna see Cricket, Home Depot, because those are conference deals. You're gonna see a
Exactly. Those are
SWAC ad.
corporate. Those are the corporate. Right.
Yeah, you're gonna see an institutional ad. But when you start seeing those other ads, then that's when you know that somebody's doing something right.
Yeah, let me quickly the other part of that question about why does it matter? Now, I think Jimmy Mack is asking about SWAC TV being a streaming platform and others are network platforms. Well, the goal, Jimmy, is
eyes equal dollars.
Watching a broadcast should not be limited to whether it is a network or a streaming, because the goal is to provide a quality broadcast that on your TV, guess what? I'm streaming network TV, the same feed that is streaming the broadcast on the national feed, right? That the capability to some degree is still there. So again, it goes down to who's producing the events. And I think that's the next step that I think is going to happen this summer is that every conference, just like the SIDs come together, just like the athletic directors come together, the communication staffs at all 12 SWAC schools, or lack thereof, all 12. I don't know if everybody has 12. They're gonna come together and talk about how they can produce better content. And it is a challenge because so every sport has its different sightlines, its limitations. And so you got to try to work, the same setup and number of cameras for football isn't necessary or doesn't equate for basketball. And what you do at basketball doesn't equate for tennis, doesn't equate for softball and baseball, right? So it all varies. All right. So Jimmy says this question had to do with the comment about Mo having the. I don't remember exactly what he was saying about it, but I just know that the product and the inventory is. Oh, I think I know what he was referring to. Well, right now, if I recall where you were going with that, Jimmy, right now when ESPN and HBCU Go have. I don't want to get too deep in this, but let's just, for lack of layman's terms, they got first and second rights on games. And because all SWAC games don't run on ESPN, there's only going to be a certain number of games that ESPN and HBCU Go are going to broadcast on their networks. So ESPN will make the decision to say, we want to broadcast this game. And they get first dibs. So once they call and look at the schedule, figure out the matchups, and, they'll say, well, we want to call these games, whatever the pocket of inventory games is for football, maybe it's 15 games, they'll pick their 15 games. Then after they've done that, now HBCU Go will come in. And if they're picking 10 games or 12, they'll go through the weeks and they'll pick the next set of best matchups. And what that leaves after ESPN and HBCU Go, That's where SWAC TV, that's where what Mo was talking about is now SWAC TV can come in and pick up and basically say, these are the rest of the games that we want to run on SWAC TV. Right. So, yeah, I think I covered it. Okay. Wow. Fascinating conversation. I got to make mention of a couple of streaks that are happening right now in college basketball. And on the women's side, of course, we got to mention in the Division I level what's happening with Alabama A&M. The Lady Bulldogs came into the state of Florida. Coach Thornton, she put her feet in the sand, had the toes out, and the Bulldogs were dominant at Florida A&M and at Bethune-Cookman. Beating up on FAMU, I think by a count of about 15 points. And then I'm just looking here, they beat up on Bethune by 12. And so Alabama A&M has won 14 in a row. They are 14-1 in conference play. After Alcorn State's loss to Jackson State on Saturday, they have now built a 2-game lead with 3 games to play. And they already have the tiebreaker over Alcorn as they beat up Alcorn earlier in the year. And so the magic number for Alabama A&M is essentially 1. So 1 win for the Lady Bulldogs, and they will be the SWAC regular season champions. And guess who's coming up on Saturday the 28th? None other than their rival, Alabama State. Couldn't ask for a better setup than that, right?
I could.
Oh, you could?
Should have been played the holiday weekend, but anyway.
Well, the last 3 games of the regular season for Alabama A&M are all home games, where they play Alabama State, then they host Grambling State and host Southern. They're 18-9 overall. Alcorn State right now, what makes it interesting is Alcorn State, with that loss to Jackson State, have, in terms of being in control of second place, they only have a half-game lead over Alabama State. Alcorn is 11-3. Alabama State is 11-4. Alcorn State this upcoming week, Thursday, they take on Texas Southern. Saturday, they go to Prairie View. Then they finish off the season home against Mississippi Valley State and home against Arkansas Pine Bluff. So 4 games remaining for the Lady Braves. Alabama State, as we mentioned, they're 11-4, a half a game out of second place. Of course, they have to play their rival on Saturday. That could cost them some ground. Southern sits at 10-4, a full game behind Alabama State in third. No, excuse me, a half a game behind Alabama State in third, 1 whole game behind Alcorn State. So Southern has 4 games remaining. I think I just mentioned that one of those games is against Alabama A&M. They play Alabama State. They have Florida A&M and Bethune-Cookman, both. So, you know, they host Florida A&M. They host Bethune-Cookman Thursday and Saturday. That makes for 2 teams who are fighting to stay in the middle of the pack. So, you know, those aren't gimmies for Southern. And I know Southern lost to FAMU. I don't know if Southern, let's see, if I'm looking here earlier, they did beat Bethune-Cookman. So of the remaining schedule, I say Southern probably has the hardest schedule in their final 4 games. Yeah, Prairie View is still 0-15 in conference play with 3 games to play. So if you're looking at the world from that spectrum and seeing will somebody can another winless SWAC team end their losing streak? Well, Prairie View A&M is up. The other long winning streak belongs right here to a school on the Division II side in the SIC, Drew. And it belongs to the Edward Waters Tigers.
I wonder if Coach Green's still in the chats.
He was earlier. I know he popped
I
in
saw
there.
him earlier.
Yeah.
And we're gonna see between you and Miles who's gonna be the better ranked team this week, Coach Green.
Yeah. Edward Waters, just kind of reading some info put out by my guy, by Ja, at just Ja Sports. Make sure you're following him on Instagram and on Twitter. This is the best record for Edward Waters since joining the NCAA a few years ago. They are currently 23-4 overall. They've clinched the SIC East. They are 22-3 in conference play. Again, a 14-game winning streak to end the regular season. 14 in a row going into conference. They have the number one scoring defense in all of Division II, allowing 49.7 points a game. That is number one. This is a little interesting nugget. This is the first time that a non-Georgia school has won the SIC East, Drew, in 6 years.
Wow.
First time that a school not in the state of Georgia has won the SIC East.
That would have been Tuskegee pre-COVID.
Okay. Yeah, probably right. Yeah. I remember that Tuskegee team. Yeah.
That's when Tuskegee and Benedict were the two hot teams pre-COVID. I do remember that, Brian.
Yeah. Miles women, 20-4, 22-5 overall. They've won the West Division. So there is still a week of regular season action left in the SIC before the SIC tournament starts.
And just going back to the women's side, Brian, the first regional, the regional watch list, as I called it, because the rankings actually don't come out until next week. But they did release the top 10. They had everybody listed alphabetically. On the women's side, in the South region, you have Edward Waters and Miles both in the top 10. And in the Atlantic region, where our CIAA teams are at, you have both Fayetteville State and Winston-Salem right now currently in the top 10. We will know their exact positions on next Wednesday, but going to Inkblot Sports, who's usually pretty good at predicting this. Currently, Inkblot has Edward Waters ranked 2, just behind Alabama Huntsville. So, Brian, not only do we have an opportunity to get a couple of teams in, but we actually may have an opportunity for one of our institutions to be the number 1 seed and actually host the regionals.
Whoa.
If this plays out according to Inkblot. We'll find out when they release the official rankings. And Miles is sitting at the number 4 spot. So right now, what it would take would be Edward Waters winning the SIAC and Alabama Huntsville not winning the Gulf South. And it could happen, Ryan. Edward Waters is in position. Miles is still in position also.
Okay.
Should one of
Coach
those
Green
teams,
said West Florida is trying to sneak their team in at 16-11.
I don't understand that one.
That's got to be strength of schedule. It's got to be strength of schedule.
Because
it's got to be strength of schedule.
According to Inkblot, RPI, Lane is ranked 8th in RPI. West Florida is 13th in RPI, but Lane is not in the top 10.
Well,
Benedict,
schedule alone.
let me take it one step further. Benedict is 12th RPI. Both of those are ahead of West Florida, who currently is in by the voters, human voters. Just quickly,
what's the non-conference? What's the non-conference for West Florida look like? Do you know?
Florida, well, they're over. Let's see. West Florida is They're 14-10 in region.
Okay.
Yeah, West Florida's 14-10 in region. Benedict is 16-8 in region. Lane is 17-5 in region.
Hmm.
So y'all explain that one to me quickly, Brian. Going to the Atlantic, according to Inkblot Sports. Winston-Salem and Fayetteville, respectively, are 4 and 5, Brian. And there's really no other CIAA team in shouting distance, although you have a block of CIAA teams 13, 14, and 15. Virginia State, Claflin, and Bowie. And once again, that's on the women's side, everybody.
Right.
Yeah.
Be
Quickly,
interesting to see if somebody were to pull an upset, somebody other than Fayetteville State or Winston-Salem winning the CIAA would throw a monkey wrench in those rankings, probably, right?
So please expect that because there's always a monkey wrench in every one of these polls, Brian. And I'm gonna quickly flip over to the men before we get into the before we actually get into the polls. As soon as I can click on the right link. Regional rankings for the men in the Atlantic region, which is where the CIAA sits. Fayetteville State and Virginia Union are the two teams that opened up in the top 10. And in the South region, Tuskegee is the only team in the SIAC in the South region. Once again, flipping over to Inkblot Sports. They currently have Virginia Union at the 5 spot on the men's side, Fayetteville State in the 6th spot on the men's side. The next CIAA team you're going to find is Virginia State at 14. In the SIAC, according to Inkblot Sports, you have Tuskegee sitting 4. Clark Atlanta is sitting 5, but they are not in the human voters top 10, Brian, with the 5th best RPI. Moving on down the line, Miles is actually sitting 8 according to Inkblot, not in the top 10. Morehouse is sitting 11, not in the top 10. So and the next team is going to be Savannah State at 15. So there are 4 SIAC teams sitting with the opportunity to possibly get in, according to Inkblot. So, but Brian, we're not worried about Inkblot. We're worried about the BCSN.
Right. All right. We'll get into it because there were so many other things I wanted to get to, but I know our time is ticking here, and so we got a lot to get into. So let's go ahead and let's bring up our top 5 rankings. So this is the new BCSN top 5 rankings, starting in the NAIA. This is on the women's side, just outside of the top 5. You've got Xavier, Talladega, and Paul Quinn. Number 5 is Wiley. Last week, they were outside of the top 5. That's what ITH means. For those of you who are looking in parentheses there, that is where they were last week. Coming in at number 4, Rust. So right in the same spot they were a year ago. Coming in at number 3, Oakwood. Oakwood actually dropping a spot from 2nd to 3rd. A new number 2 this week is Arkansas Baptist. So pretty much a flipping of the spots between Arkansas Baptist and Oakwood. And our number 1 team for the umpteenth week in a row, also clinching the number 1 seed in the Sooner Athletic Conference tournament, the Langston Lady Lions. The Lions The tournament begins for the Lions. I'm going to try to see how quickly I can read this. My God, the type is so small on the website. LangstonSports.com. The tournament begins Thursday, February 26th, this week at Abe Lemons Arena in Oklahoma City. That's not where Langston plays, is it?
Oh, but that's like 30 minutes. I don't even think that's 30 minutes away.
Okay.
It's right up the road.
Okay.
20, 25 minutes.
Langston finished the regular season 18-4 in conference play, 24-4 overall. They are currently ranked 20th in the latest NAIA coaching poll. And they will begin tournament play against the 8-seeded. Let me see. Who's the 8-seeded team here? I know it's in this article somewhere. I thought I'd read it somewhere. Well, anyway, I don't know who the 8-seeded team is. I can't find it. Oh, I thought I had it. Okay. I know I saw it somewhere in here, Drew, but fail on my part. So, but shout out to the Langston Lions who clinched the number 1 seed overall. And so there's the NAIA women's. Let's go over to the men's top 5. On the men's side, just outside of the top 5, you got Philander Smith, Talladega, and Dillard. And number 5 is Xavier. Same spot from a week ago. Number 4 this week, Stillman College. Same spot they were in a week ago. Number 3, Tougaloo. Very interesting scenario. Same spot from a week ago. Let me guess. Number 2 is probably the same team from a week ago. Oh, what do you know? It's Arkansas Baptist. And so I'm just going to go ahead and go on a wild guess here, Drew, that the number 1 team is still the number 1 team in the NAIA. And it is the Langston Lions. Coach Chris Wright and the Lions doing something right over there as he's got them in a perfect spot. They are actually seeded 2nd this year, Drew, in the Sooner Athletic Conference men's tournament, which begins Wednesday, February 25th in the Abe Lemons Arena in Oklahoma City. The Lions will play the 7th-seeded team. They finished the overall season at 24-4, 19-3. They're currently ranked 6th in the NAIA coaches poll. But surprisingly, Drew, they did not get the 1 seed this year. That goes to Nelson.
Out of Oklahoma.
Yeah, Nelson, they are the tournament's top seed. And Langston will be down on the other side.
Is this going to be another one of those years where Chris Wright could potentially lose to the same team 3 or 4 times? Like he did his last season at Talladega.
Oh, wow. Let me see. So they take on John Brown. Let me take a look and see who those losses have come to. I was wrong about that. Okay, so wait a minute. Langston, I read that wrong. Langston is 17-5 in conference play, 22-6 overall. They lost to Nelson just recently. Excuse me. That's what happened. They lost that last game. Who knows if that might have cost them the 1 and 2 seed, but they lost to Nelson University 66-58. Their previous losses in conference play have come to Wayland Baptist and John Brown. So, and Oklahoma City as well. So they've had a few unexpected losses this year. Although it's been a good season, but what we have become spoiled by is complete utter dominance by Langston, and it just hadn't been this season. While we're in the NAIA, Drew, we got to make mention of the HBCU AC basketball tournament, which is beginning this upcoming week.
Tomorrow, isn't it?
Yeah, February. No, 2 days. Tuesday.
Okay.
Tuesday. The women and men begin. And I believe they moved the tournament to Dallas.
No, that's next year.
Oh, next year is moving to Dallas.
Yes.
Okay. So this year it is
It's in
in
Tuscaloosa.
It's still in Tuscaloosa at Stillman. Okay, Stillman is the host. The number 1 seed, obviously on the men and women's bracket, of course, they have the top 4 seeds or the top 4 teams, the 2 from the East and the 2 from the West they get the true definition of a double bye, because there are, my God, how many teams are there? Let's see.
There's like 14 in the conference or something like that.
Let's see. There are, let's see. I think there are 16. I think there's 16 teams in the conference. It's kind of hard doing the math here. I'm trying to look at it. Like, for example, there are opening round games happening between the 6th and 7th seeded teams on the women's side. So that's Houston Tellison versus Voorhees and Fisk versus Suno. Then you have 4 or 5 matchups happening between Wilberforce and Tougaloo and Dillard and Stillman, with the top seeds being Oakwood being the top seed in the East, Wiley being the top seed in the West, Talladega being the 2 seed from the East, and Paul Quinn being the 2 seed in the West. That's the women's bracket, in case you were curious. And you can go look all this up at hbcuac.org. I'm just relaying the message. Over on the men's side, the number 1 seed in the
14
East is still
teams,
in
Bryan. The
14. Okay, thank you for doing the math. Okay, so what they did, Drew, is the top 4 seeds get a bye. Then the
I'm looking at it.
4 seeds. Okay, you're looking at it. The 3, 4, and 5 seeds essentially get a bye, and then everybody below a 5 plays. So that is for. So what's that? First 10 teams. The top 4 get a double bye. Teams 5 through 10
single bye,
or is that 5 through 9? No, I said it right. 5 through 10. 5 through 10 get a single bye, and then the bottom 4 play. But anyway, the number 1 seed is Stillman from the East and Tougaloo from the West. Philander Smith is the 2 seed from the West, and Talladega the 2 seed in the East. Wow. Okay. Good Lord. All of those games, I believe, are available on Urban Edge Network, I believe, as are many NAIA games. So, again, tournament goes from Tuesday the 24th until Sunday, March 1st. All right. Why did somebody say Byron Allen is at the Lakers game? Okay, that's random. Okay, let's go to Division 2. Division 2, where
Coach Green, where you at?
Division 2, where the CIAA tournament begins this week, and the SIAC finishes their regular season, and then their tournament will begin the following week. So on the women's side, just outside of the top 5, Bowie State, Virginia State, and Clark Atlanta. Number 5 is Lane College. They were just outside of the top 5 a week ago. Number 4 is Philander Smith. Nope. Fayetteville State. Yeah, I didn't know whether you were controlling it or whether you needed me to push the buttons.
No, I just lost my place.
That's all right. Fayetteville State, interesting, dropping from 2 to 4 this week. That is interesting to see if there's a little kind of shakeup there is. I'm scared to look at who's 3. On the women's side, Division II. Ooh, Miles stays put at 3. All right. Well, this will be interesting to see who is 2 and who is 1. Number 2 this week is, the Winston-Salem State Rams, who lost just recently to Livingstone. Bit of a shocker. Didn't expect that game to happen. But, the Rams have lost I think that is their 3rd conference loss now. Or 2nd or 3rd?
2.
Okay, second. Other one being the Fayetteville State. Okay, so that means the new number 1 team might be the team that we kind of just mentioned a minute ago. And what do you know? Rising all the way from 4 to 1 with tied for the longest active winning streak in HBCU basketball. The Edward Waters Tigers, the number 1 seed. Well, potentially they'll be the number 1 seed.
They're the number 1 in the East.
Yeah,
Miles is number 1 in the West.
Correct. Let me make mention of the CIAA basketball tournament, which begins, Drew, because one of the things that we mentioned when we looked at the SWAC schedule last week, right? And we talked about the SWAC schedule looking very similar to what we saw previous years from the CIAA, right? Well, this year, the top 4 seeds in the CIAA play in the quarterfinals. They have a bye. Well, the opening round, everybody plays in the opening round. So you've got matchups where the bottom 8 teams, Drew, they all play each other. Shaw versus Lincoln, the winner plays Virginia State. Bluefield State and Winston-Salem State. I'm sorry, hold on. I'm looking at the wrong bracket. I'm sorry. Let me back up. Jesus, I'm about to have people freaking out, calling me all kinds of stuff. This is the women's bracket now. The buys belong to Bowie State, the 1 seed in the north, Fayetteville State, the 2 seed in the south. Winston-Salem State's the 1 seed in the south, Virginia State's the 2 seed in the north. Now, as I mentioned, the bottom 8 teams, Drew, all play each other, and the winners advance to the quarterfinals. You do remember there used to be a second layer to this a year ago, remember?
Yes.
Very similar to what the SWAC does.
And the SIC is doing.
And the SIC. This is a bit of a change for the CIAA. And you know what? I like it because it's really what I wish the SWAC would have done, to be honest, if I'm being perfectly honest with you, Drew, because now it takes away the extra advantage or disadvantage, depending upon how we said this earlier last week, Drew. We've seen a team who had to play somebody who got 2 games under their belt. We've seen them take a loss in the quarterfinals. We've seen it happen. Now,
so, in this format, you're only going to have 1 game max leading.
Correct. Right. You literally have a true bye. Instead of playing somebody who has 2 games under their belt, you basically have a bye.
And the way this is looking, Brian, just kind of glancing at it, yes, it is. The advantage for the 1 seeds, 1 north and 1 south, is you'll be playing a team on a back-to-back. Because you'll be playing a team that played on.
Yes, when you go to the semifinals.
When you go to the quarterfinals.
You
still have to play 3 games. You got the opening round, then those 8 teams that play in the opening round move on to the quarter. But the advantage is that the number 1 seeds, North and South, will be playing that team on a back-to-back.
No.
Yes.
No.
I'm looking at it right here.
What are you looking at the link? Are you looking at the same link on the website? Everybody plays on February 24th.
I'm on the women's bracket.
I'm on the women's bracket too. Everybody plays February 24th. Is that what you see?
And then on the on the 25th, the number 1s play.
Right. That's when the ones play. They get they get an extra
But they
day
buy out.
between.
You know, when I mean the team that they are facing comes in on a back-to-back. So
Everybody faces a team on the back-to-back. What do you mean? I don't understand. When
some
you say
teams don't play till
back-to-back,
the
what do you mean?
26th. The twos don't play till the 26th. So they'd be playing a team with 1 day rest. Look on the date.
I understand the terminology you're using. Okay, maybe we're just mixed up in the terminology that you're using. Okay.
Yes.
All right. So I'm looking at. So I don't know if that's an advantage, disadvantage. Really, I mean,
back to back.
Honestly, you would rather play a team having that just played a game, right? Because they haven't had much rest.
Exactly.
Versus the twos they play a game against a team who had a day off.
Right.
And then you have to win 3 straight. I don't know if it matters. So I don't know. I guess
it's tomatoes. It's when do you get that advantage? Because you also got to flip that on the other side. The the 1 seeds are playing a team, and they won't have time to actually do a walkthrough to prepare for their team because their team is coming in on the back-to-back.
Gotcha. All right.
So their advantage is both ways.
Okay. All right. I just thought that was interesting, the new format for the CIAA tournament this year. All right, let's go over to the men's top 5 and the BCSN top 5 rankings. In the hunt, we have Tuskegee, Clark Atlanta, and Morehouse. Wow, Morehouse outside of the top 5. Yikes. All right, that means the top 5 in the BCSN Division II rankings. Starting at number 5, we have Claflin, who dropped 2 spots this week to number 5. Not their logo, but anyway. Number 4 is Miles, holding at the same spot by a 1/10 of a point over Claflin. Number 3 this week is new to this spot and is Virginia State. A little mix-up in logos there. So Virginia State moving up to 3. Fayetteville State stays put at 2. And the number 1 stays put, and that is Virginia Union. And looking at the CIAA men's bracket, the top 4 seeds, Virginia State is the 1 in the north. Fayetteville State is the 1 in the south. Virginia Union is 2nd in the north. They're on the same bracket with Fayetteville State. And Claflin is the 2 seed in the south. So I think what'll be interesting to see a Bluefield Claflin quarterfinal matchup. Bluefield State Claflin quarterfinal matchup. That might be the one team I think that might throw a monkey wrench in how this whole thing goes. Bluefield State. Be interested to see what they do.
God. So it won't happen unless it's in the championship game.
Oh,
Fayetteville. I want to see Fayetteville and Bluefield.
Oh yes, I do too. I look. I won't say it won't happen, but
I say it won't happen unless it's a championship game. Is what I said.
Well, that's the only way it can happen.
Yes.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Let's root. Let's
I was
root
hoping
for that.
they was on the same side of the bracket.
Let's root for that, and then let's root for a Winston-Salem State, Fayetteville State women's final. Yeah. I think that's what I'll be rooting for.
Right. All right. And since we're done with D2 and NAIA, just want to let everybody know, due to the tournaments beginning on both levels this week, that these will be the final regular season rankings. We will not do another NAIA or Division II ranking until after all tournaments have been completed, including the we'll do it before they get to their nationals.
All right, let's look at the Division I side of things, starting on the women's side. Outside of the top 5, Maryland Eastern Shore and Alabama State. That means coming in at number 5 on the women's side of things is Alcorn, dropping from 4 to 5 from a week ago. Number 4 this week was number 5 a week ago, and that is Southern University. Moving into the 3 spot will probably be Norfolk State, same spot they were in a week ago. Number 2 will probably stay the same. It is Howard. Interesting. Howard University, 2. That means the number 1 team in the BCSN top 5, the Alabama A&M Lady Bulldogs, winners of 14 in a row. I think I saw Alabama A&M now has an 18-9 overall record. I think Howard has a 19-7 overall record, if I'm not mistaken. So I agree with the top 2 teams. I'm still don't know. Still don't know if Norfolk State is the Norfolk State that we've expected or come to know. Still competitive. We'll see. Still a couple more weeks left on the Division I level before we hit the tournaments. Of course, the MEAC tournament in Norfolk, Virginia, the SWAC tournament in Atlanta, Georgia. Let's go to the men's side, top 5. Morgan State and Alabama A&M just sitting outside of the top 5. Tough weekend for Alabama A&M, man. They were sitting firmly in second place and then came down to Florida and got a little too comfortable and lost both games, I believe.
Kind of like Bethune in Mississippi.
Yeah, and Florida A&M in Mississippi. All right, let's go. Number 5, Norfolk State. In the hunt a week ago. Congratulations to Coach Robert Jones. 1 week ago, he was inducted into the Hall of Fame. Then this past Saturday, he won his 250th career game. Robert Jones, one of the top coaches in mid-major basketball and college basketball, right? I don't mean to minimize it if it sounded that way, but one of the best coaches in mid-major / HBCU basketball. Number 4, Southern, same spot as a week ago. Number 3, Tennessee State holding put. I got to look and see where Tennessee State sits in the OVC. I want to say
first or second. I just saw it.
A week ago when we did the show, they had just lost a game and had fell a half a game back into second.
I had it pulled up earlier. See, I left the tab open intentionally. All right, I got it. Give me a second, Brian.
Tennessee
they are
State
back in first place. They are tied for first place. They're in a 3-way tie for first place with Southeast Missouri and Morehead State.
And I think we talked about this.
And 5.
We talked about this last week. I think they play both of those teams in 2 of their final 3 games, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
Great scheduling. Number 2 in the BCSN top 5 is Bethune-Cookman, the former top team. Despite they took 2 losses when they went out to Mississippi, but they did get back on a winning side when they came back home against the Alabama schools. They won both of those contests. So let's see who the new number 1 team is. It is Howard University Bison. Wow, look at that. Howard. That's impressive. Okay, Howard. You've seen Howard up close. What's your take on Howard? Solid? Good enough?
Solid.
Yeah.
Solid team. Okay. I mean, I think any of those top 2 or 3 teams in the BAC could win it all.
Okay.
But I'll probably be looking for another Howard-Norfolk final, realistically.
Yeah.
And that might be on both sides. Would not surprise me if we have a Howard-Norfolk doubleheader.
Okay. I was just trying to do a quick little search here because as we get ready to close up the show, I wanted to kind of just summarize how teams did at the 2026 Andre Dawson Classic down in Vero Beach, Florida. Of course, this is at the Jackie Robinson training complex, and the games were broadcast on MLB or MLB TV. Alabama State comes away as the big winner of the weekend as they go 3-0. Well, I think, but did Bethune go 3-0 as well?
I didn't see the results. I was a little busy, Brian.
Yeah, I'm just looking to see. Let me know if somebody puts it in the chat. I know Bethune got 2 wins, I think. But I know Alabama State got all 3 as they got an 11-4 win over Florida A&M. They beat Texas Southern 2-1 as well. Jackson State finished up 2-1 on the weekend as they beat Texas Southern 3-2. They beat Yale 6-5, but they lost to Grambling State 8-7. So I know Florida A&M lost to Alabama State and Bethune-Cookman. The game against Southern was canceled. And I'm just trying to find out what happened. I think Bethune had an excellent pitching performance against Bethune, against FAMU, as they were. I felt like I think they were throwing a no-hitter through several innings. Held FAMU to 2 runs, which they only scored in the bottom of the 9th inning. But once again, don't tell me Bethune-Cookman's pitching. Boy, I tell you, I knew they were going to be back, but geez Louise. They actually played Yale twice. Bethune beat Yale 7-5 the first time they played them. Nope, correction. So I'm looking here. Bethune only played 2 games in Andre Dawson. They played FAMU on Saturday, and then that was the only game in the Classic. They had it bookend with a series against Yale. That's what threw me off here. They split, so they beat Yale 7-5 on Friday night. Then they traveled over to Vero Beach, beat Florida A&M. Then they traveled back to Daytona Beach today. Lost 3-8. It's funny. Bethune plays at Jackie Robinson Ballpark and also played in the Jackie Robinson Training Complex. So all of their games this season have been somewhere surrounded by or in stadiums named after Jackie Robinson.
That's interesting.
Yeah. All right, Drew. Well, I feel like there might have been more to talk about, but I think we hit on everything that we could with the time that we have. So let's closing shots. Any parting shots as you head out the door today?
Who will have their one shining moment? Tournament start this week. So March Madness begins in February, Brian. And it's my favorite time of the year, Brian.
Must be something in the water. Have you noticed the uptick in late post game, whether it be a handshake line or the final seconds? I mean, we've had a brawl. Let me see. We had a brawl in St. Louis VCU. We had on the anniversary of Juwan Howard slapping Greg Beard, or not, maybe not Beard, but somebody on that Wisconsin staff 4 years ago. You had a little handshake dust up between. It was like New Mexico and some other Arkansas, Little Rock. I don't know. Some schools that both schools were under 500, but
they banished from the tournament.
They got into it. If you haven't seen the highlights from the St. Louis VCU, that was wild.
I didn't see it.
You had people in the stands in the parent section fighting, or doing what they do, wrestling, grabbing hold of people,
wrestling.
People, you grab hold of somebody's shirt, trying to get to their neck. I'm gonna ring you, I don't know what's going on, man. But women and children, watch out. It's tournament season. No No, watch out for court storms. Don't flashing phones at coaches and coaches knocking. It's wild, man. The past 2 weeks have been literally wild. I mean, between the court storming, I'm just telling you, the madness is here, Drew. If you didn't believe it, it is here. And my goodness, God, I'm just thankful that we're not seeing any of this foolishness in the SWAC or the MEAC, or I hope the tournaments in the CIAA and the GC, not the GCSE, the HBCU AC. I hope they go well.
Emmett, that don't count.
Hockey always has fights. Hockey always has fights. My last thoughts were congratulations to U.S. hockey, men and women, beating Canada in overtime in both cases, double gold, and good stuff, man. Good stuff.
Today was the anniversary of the Miracle on Ice, Brian.
I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. That's how crazy it was. 40 years to the day.
Yeah.
So
one last thing, one parting shot. Today is 2/22, Brian.
Yeah.
And you know what today also is? It is Division II Day. It's NCAA Division II Day. So for all you guys out there, today's a good day to give to your favorite Division II school.
There you go.
And if you don't have a favorite Division II school, you can always hit us up at the house.
Well said. Well said. I want to thank Mo Carter for coming in and joining us to talk a little bit about the SWAC TV's broadcast of the Indoor Track and Field Championships. Congratulations to all of the track and field champions across the CIAA, SIAC, and the SWAC. I think the MEACs and the CAA. The MEACs is happening this weekend. I did not watch 1 second of the Legacy Bowl. Did not have any interest in the Legacy Bowl. And that's not because there were no significant offensive or defensive players from Florida A&M. It just, I don't know, all-star football games are...
It's not about the game. It's about the workouts going into the game.
It's kind of anticlimactic. I mean, we got one HBCU player going to the combine, and he's a kicker for North Carolina A&T, apparently. I mean, what the hell? So I don't know. Who won? Who won, by the way? Anyway, I did see Team Barry beat Team Jack. That's not even the name of the teams. That part I do know. It's Gaither and Robinson. Come on now, Emmett. Put some respect on the team names. If nothing else, let's do that right.
So Chittis Berry is 2-0 against Tremaine Jackson.
Oh, really? Is that what we're doing? What we're doing?
I'm just saying.
I haven't heard it. How come nobody else on social? See, this is how I know nobody on social media cared about that game, because that is what everyone in social media, HBCU Twitter, should have been buzzing about. Chittisberry being 2-0 over Coach Jackson. That right there. That's an AD Drew special. Pew 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 right there.
And I like both of the guys.
Exactly. Yeah, but sorry, Drew had to drop that nugget on you. I will say, oh man, I had a close. Anyway, let's get out of here. Enjoy the tournament, the basketball tournaments this week. And I'll probably think about whatever it was I wanted to talk about once we hit the end. Again, thank you, Mo Carter. Thank you for joining us earlier in the show. Appreciate everybody watching us wherever and however you're watching. Don't forget to download the BCSN Pod Zone on your favorite podcast platforms. Just search BCSN Pod Zone, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Apple Podcasts, et cetera, Great episode from Carlos Brown Show is already up from yesterday, and our show will go up later. There we go. Seems only appropriate that Team Gaither won. Team Gaither always wins, don't they? It feels like they do. But anyway, all right, everybody, let's get out of here. Be well. Have a great week. Be good to each other. Be good to your family and friends. Share the show. Share the network. Let people know that we are out there doing what we do and trying to do it to the best of our capabilities. For AD Drew, I'm Brian Fulford. Peace out, everybody.
Travel light, everybody. We'll holler.